Yeah, I think we are live. It's not uploading on YouTube. Just let the YouTube start. Yeah, we are live. We can start now.
Um, should I start?
Yeah,
Hey everyone, I am Sunaina Pati and today we are going to interview India's EGMO 2024 team. This year India had the best performance since 2015, which was the first year India participated in EGMO. Team India this year was 11th in the international rankings with two silver medals and two bronze medals, which is like a huge feat for us. This year, we had a diverse set of members in the Indian team. On one end, we had Gunjan, who was representing India for the fourth time and had already won a bronze and silver in the past years. Whereas on the other hand, we had Saee and Larissa, who were representing the country for the first time. We also have Sanjana, who is writing EGMO for the second time and had won bronze medal in her first time. So today in our panel, we have all the four members of the Indian team, Gunjan, Sanjana, Sai, and Larissa. We have a few questions which are like pre-planned to ask the team, which will go about 45 minutes. And then once they're over, we'll take the audience questions as much as we can. So the audiences who are watching this, prepare your questions and we'll try our best to take them. So let's start with each of your EGMO experiences. Also, if you have a favorite problem in EGMO, what is it and what did you like the most about it? So we'll start with the oldest one, Gunjan. As you are the most senior team member and have already performed so well in the past years, how are you feeling before the contest? Did you have any pressure? What were your thoughts? And how did you calm yourself?
I think I was rather chill this year because I didn't feel too pressurized. It was like a similar setting and a familiar stage. So I was like fine. But of course it's really stressful. Like even if you're writing it for the thousandth time, you'll feel stressed because you're not just writing for yourself, you're writing for a lot of people. And I think I just figured out that my performance is not really oh like just a part of my Olympiad career. It's just participating is like a huge deal in itself. Like my performance after that shouldn't matter too much. So I just told myself it doesn't matter. You're gonna do good. Even if you don't, it's fine. So
Yeah. Next, Sanjana. It was your second time representing India at EGMO. So, how was your first EGMO experience and what were you learning? How did you implement them this year to drastically improve your performance?
During my first EGMO, I think I was kind of overwhelmed because it was my first time representing my country. And in the first EGMO, I did okay on the first day. But then before the second day, I sort of let nerves get to me. And so this time, what I thought was, okay, after day one, that's over. And day one and day two are independent events. And I shouldn't let the day one affect the day two. And so after the day one, even though I think I could have done better, I still tried to forget about that. I tried to interact with people and make the most of the wholesome experience. And then I went and wrote day two with a fresh mind. And I think this sort of mindset really helps when you're writing a 2 day exam.
That's nice. I think like representing your country for the first time is like lot of pressure, but then when you represent your country for the second time and more, there's like additional pressure. So yeah. kudos to you guys for handling it so well. Saeed, how did it feel getting selected in the team for the first time and representing India and like holding the Indian flag and wearing Team India blazer? Yeah.
That was definitely a very big deal for me. So if 5 years ago, if you would have told me that I would have, gone like represented India at a math Olympiad, I would have not believed you at all. So it was definitely a very big deal for me. And it was like, yeah, the feeling of wearing the blazer or just holding the flag, I was very close to crying, and it was definitely like the out of the world experience. And I think so some of my most fondest memories are when we were traveling and to Georgia, we were wearing the blazer, and just random people were coming up to us and congratulating us and telling us, make us proud and things like that. That was really wholesome, and yeah, just yeah.
Yeah. So Larissa, it was your first time representing India at EGMO as well. So how was your experience and how did you again feel when holding the EGMO, the Indian flag on the stage and yeah.
It was my first time, so everything was a very new experience for me. Like I felt very honored to be standing there on the stage with the Indian flag and among all these other countries. And I'm also very happy that I could bring a medal. Um, Also interacting with so many people from different regions of this world was a very beautiful experience, and it was a very nice experience.
That's nice. So to all of you, how was your experience with Sahil, Aditi and Ananya as leader, deputy leader and observer respectively? Were you scared of them? Do you have any complaints? Like this is the right moment to share. So yeah, go ahead. Should
Before
I? Okay,
the
yeah,
event,
continue.
before the event, I think we were nice. Like they were nice and we enjoyed with them. Sanjana, do you want to add to that?
During the event, we did the EGMO, we did the problems that might have impacted our relationships to an extent. But after the event, we were nice again.
Mm-hmm. How was the arbitration process? Did it go smoothly?
Oh yeah, I remember. So at so I'm really really proud of even the team leaders and observers as well, because they put in just as much work as we did. So they got the script so late. I think they were up all night going through them and discussing just right before the day of arbitration. It must have been really stressful for them as well. And yeah, I think we did a great job. Yeah.
And also, like, while they did all that work, they made sure that we were having fun.
Nice. That's so nice. Also, all of them are from CMI, so yeah, just mention. Next, how is regular PVC and PDC? So, do you guys have some memories? Did you have fun there? What was the major difference between regular PVC and PDC? How long were your classes? What about resets? Any non-fun activities you did during the PDC to decrease the stress?
I think one of the major differences is that in EGMO-TC, you're aiming to make the team. So the stress of making the team really affects a lot of things. But I think in PDC, you know that you're already on the team. You're going to EGMO no matter what. So I think that's much less stressful. And also in PDC, we were given some more freedom. Like we didn't have exact classes at this time. They were just like, you come to this room, you start studying, you do your work. In between, we'll come and teach you some stuff. And that work ethic, I really like that, the flexibility and letting us do our own thing also made us feel confident before the contest.
Mm-hmm. Gunjan? Right?
I think the major difference between EGMO TC and PDC is not just like what you're working towards, but also like how you're working towards it. Because in EGMO TC, there's like a fixed curriculum, as Sanjana said, and that's not this case in PDC. And also because like in EGMO TC, it's like you're preparing for an exam, and in PDC, you're more like just brushing stuff up and making sure you're like in the right mindset instead of like just going through last minute details, which is usually not the best thing to do before an exam that on that stage.
Oh, also, for the people who are asking what is PDC, it's the pre-departure camp. It's like a 10 days camp exclusively for the EGNO team members and the leader, deputy leader, observer. They come there, they train, like as Gunjan said, they brush up on the technique, do some additional problems, and then that happens in HPCSE and they together leave for EGNO. Same holds for IMO as well. Also, like in PVC, like I think unlike EGMO-TC, in PVC there's like special attention to everyone, whereas at EGMO-TC, like everybody is treated equally. Larissa, sorry, do you guys have something to add?
Yeah, definitely. So PDC was so much fun, and so was TC. Let me talk about EGMO TC first. Most of my memories of EGMO TC are, like I thought it would be stressful, but because of the wonderful people that were all there, all of you guys, you all were just really nice. Like I remember there was like arbitration going to happen. We were just dancing in the waiting room. Like that's what was going on. And then even PDC was super fun. Like initially I was fine, but towards the end of the PDC when we were going to leave for EGMO, I was just getting a lot of like nerves and really getting overwhelmed. But because of the people, like I think yeah, that was the reason I was fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And like, what fun activity did you guys do to like relieve your nerves? Did you guys do any fun activities?
We just loudly, I think most of my EGMO was just like, or like PDC or TC were just singing a lot of songs. Or I remember wrapping gifts or going on walks, eating ice cream, playing badminton, and dancing, obviously.
Nice.
Wait,
Did you guys?
Larissa,
Oh, did you
do
guys
you
eat
have
ice
anything to?
cream? Oh, yes, Larissa also. Oh, Larissa, do you have anything to add?
Oh yes, also like group solving problems was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So yeah, wait, did you guys had ice cream in PDC? That was my question.
We had ice cream in PDC.
Nice. Nice. Natural?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, also, so when you saw EGMO PhDs, and EGMO, what was your reaction? So let's first talk about EGMO PhDs and like, was there any point during the PhDs that you thought that I'm stuck, I can't solve anything, and I'll most likely not make the team, so whatever. Like, how did you overcome that thought and continue solving that problem? Um, Kancha?
Me, I think
Oh,
day one went decent, but like day two, I did the first problem uh, within 1 hour. But after that, I was totally stuck on P2 and P3.
mhm.
And then I decided to take a walk and just not think about the results.
Nice. Um, Larissa, would you like to add about EGMO also?
Yes, like kind of similar. EGMO day one went pretty well for me, and I actually wasn't very nervous before day one. Like I just took it as if it were any other exam. But before day 2, I started to feel a bit nervous, and I think it did affect my performance.
Mm-hmm. Saee, Gunjan, anyone?
I think for TSTs, I was not really thinking about making team much. But for EGMO, I was definitely. So day one, I was happy with how things were going until the contest ended and I talked to people and got to know I fake solved P1. So that really like affected a lot. So yeah, and then for day two also, I was literally for most of the time I was really stuck. Whatever solve I got was in the last half an hour. It was fairly stressful, but like Larissa said, taking a walk or just also like eatables are allowed, so eating or like drinking water helped. Uh, not helped me to not stress out a lot about it.
I think walking does help and also eating. So like whenever I wrote an exam and I'm stuck, I these days I'm getting dark chocolate because dark chocolate somehow like there are studies where it improves your thinking process. So dark chocolate. So I eat that. Gunjan, what about you?
I don't think any benefit that dark chocolate provides is worth the terrible taste. But I think Sanjana would disagree, but that's okay.
Oh yes, Sanjana likes dark chocolate.
Yes, I
Yeah.
completely agree with you.
I think it's fine. Like once you start eating it, you get used to it. But I eat it as a medicine and rather for like the dopamine experience. Yeah.
Witnessed her enjoying like 80% dark chocolate. That is not okay.
Wait, 80%? Oh,
Yeah.
I take 63, max 70. But impressive. Also, like dark chocolate. Okay, it's okay. Gunjan, Sanjnan, what did you guys do when you were stuck in a problem in the test?
So when I'm stuck on a problem, I just try to like switch my method. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
like really stubborn that okay, I cannot switch because that sometimes happens. Like you're too emotionally attached to the method that you just physically cannot switch. Like, did I get to real? But so in that cases, I switch a problem. And usually when I'm stuck on one problem, I usually stuck on two problems. So that's like helpful. But
Mm-hmm. The emotionally attached statement was so relatable. Sanjana, do you have anything to say?
Okay, so for EGMO TSTs, similar to Larissa, day one was fine. Day two, again after P1, I was stuck. And at that point, I did think, will I make team or not? But then I just tried to like get as much partial progress as possible and then forget about the results. In EGMO, day one, I was never really stuck exactly. But on day two, what happened was I initially could not do the P4. And then I was starting to panic. And then I remembered last year a very similar thing had happened. So it's like, okay, I'm trying a new problem. I tried P5 for a long time. And then I was able to come back and complete P4 just in time. So the switching problem thing really worked at that point.
That's nice.
And of course, the dark
I
chocolate.
so during the EGMO, did you try the walking out thing with Larissa and Sai mentioned, or do you like switch and just sit and think?
I think whenever I needed to take a mental break and like a refreshment, I just go to the washroom and then come back and eat some dark chocolate and then try again.
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
for me, I I never got up unless I'm done with the problem, but that's not a good thing. Yes, moving on to the next question. So this was the first time when news reporters interviewed India's EGMO team. How was the experience for you? Did you struggle while answering? Any fun moments you had during giving interviews?
Okay, one thing is that we reached quite late that day, like reached back to HPCC. So I was very tired during that time. Like I just woke up 5 minutes before the interview thing.
Oh, wait. When was so you guys came from Georgia to Mumbai? At what time?
Like 4 a.m. Yeah, and problem was that, excuse me, but that we came from like somewhere as cold as Georgia to somewhere as hot as Mumbai. So
Yeah.
we had to shower.
The humidity difference. Oh,
So we probably slept at like 5 o'clock, and then
mhm.
we were supposed to be up at like 9 o'clock.
Oh,
And it was visible that we were tired.
It was definitely like a different experience. So after like everything was done, I think it was aired on television or something, and my parents got calls from some distant relatives saying, "Oh, we saw Saee on TV." That was very cool.
was it like your first time, like for everyone getting interviewed by news reporters, like major news reporters? Okay, nice. So, did you guys had any fun moments except from being tired? Did you guys have breakfast before interview?
I don't think so.
No.
HPCSE, if you're watching this,
We had a good lunch after the interview though.
Yeah. The lunch was good.
Larissa is making sure that he is not called by HPCSE. But okay, moving to all Indian mathematics. Was there anyone stage? And now's the right moment to thank them. Here, mention their name. Yeah. Um, anyone?
Yeah. Just a second. Sunaina, I think you're cutting out.
Okay, I think
Oh,
now the internet is bad, so I'll probably take over until she comes back, I guess. Oh, so now you're back. You can resume, I guess. It's fine. Yeah,
I apologize for that, Ned. If that happens again, Kanav will immediately take over. So yeah.
yeah, sure.
Uh, yeah. So I don't know if my question was completed, but I'll again say the question for closure. How and when did you guys get into Olympiad math, and um, did you guys had any mentor? And now is the right moment to thank them. So yeah.
Okay, I have a sort of long story about this. So initially, when I was done with, so I did not know about Olympiads. I only knew of school math. So once I was done with school math, I did not know what to do next. Then I got to know about Bhaskaracharya Pratishthan in Pune. So they really helped me a lot. So I was there for 2, 3 years. So a lot of teachers over there were the reason I really enjoyed what I was doing, like Siddharth Bhalerao, Kiran Virve sir, and Prashant Soni sir. Yeah, that was really, those were some fun years. Except that at that time when I was actually preparing for the Olympiads, I could not crack RMO. I think I did crack like once or something, but I don't remember. Yeah. So I was really disappointed because I was working for it, but it did not happen. And so I was like, yeah, I was like very heartbroken. So I just stopped preparing for math Olympiads. But my mom insisted that I still give the exam just for fun, because why not? Without any expectations. So I kept giving the exam, and somehow last year I got in. And once I got into IMOTC, when I met everybody, so I was very nervous before coming to IMOTC. But once I got there and I met the people and the vibe, I was just so happy, and I decided that I would actually, do more Olympiad stuff from then. And yeah, um, that's. I also did something with like most a lot of so I wouldn't say that when I stopped working specifically for Olympiads, I like it whatever I did not help me, because I was still just solving random, like learning about new things in math or CS, and that definitely helped me a lot, gain mathematical maturity. And yeah, like raising a mathematician, they also helped me a lot. That was fun. Really grateful for everybody who made it possible.
That's nice. Also, like you went to Promise Boston. Would you like to add some experience for that? Like,
Oh yeah. So sadly, when I attended Promise, it was online, but we did so much number theory, and it was so much fun. And I met so many new people. I'm still in touch with so many of them, and it was really fun. Like over there, I sort of got introduced to the culture of like not getting hints for a problem, and like believing in yourself that you can do it even though it takes you days. That really like boosted my patience.
yes, Promise is it's a great program. There's Promise India, so if people are interested, apply to it next year. Gunjan, do you want to say?
I got introduced to Olympiads pretty early, but like my journey was like quite on and off with Olympiads. I was not too consistent, but my main motivation was never like get this medal or do this achievement. It was mostly to have fun, which I think helped me stay on track for all this while. And I think that's like a slightly better approach than just like I want to get this medal in this year or I want to do this for this purpose. Just like have fun with it. And my journey started when I was like quite small, and I think I had like a bunch of mentors and people I just looked up to, and yeah, I'm gonna thank all of them. I probably can't even mention all of them, so many. But I think someone I looked up to the most was my sister, of course, because she basically paved the path for me, and I, a lot of other people, not just me. So I think like she's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
Um, go on.
no, that's me.
So, so like, as you mentioned, your sister was someone who you looked really up to. Did you have any pressure from other people because your sister, to the people who don't know, her sister also represented India at EGMO, and I think she was the youngest person to qualify for IMTC. Or I think
For a while,
huh?
for a while, yes.
For a while, I think Gunjan beat her
Little,
record,
yeah,
I guess.
by
Yeah.
42
So
days.
yes, by 42 days. So clearly she's an amazing person. So Gunjan, did you ever had like pressure from anyone? Like because your sister has already like set up a bar.
I think there was always some sort of like invisible pressure on me to like, if not do better than her, just to like live up to that standard. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I think I tried to like just continue like doing my own thing instead of like following her or like just trying to do as good as her or just copying her. And that's probably why I sustained. I would have given up a long time ago otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. Um, Sanjana, do you want to say?
Yeah, so I have a slightly different story. I started preparing for IAQM in eighth grade, and I cleared IAQM and in eighth. But I really got serious about Olympiad math after my first EGMO TC, where I met these people who were like so into math and so passionate about it. And it felt really good that there are people who do math just for the fun of it and for the experience rather than some result. And then when I made the EGMO team, that was when I first started properly preparing. And then
Mm-hmm.
in IMOTC 2023, that was when I really met a lot of people and I became really close with a lot of them. And so many of them have helped me so much along my journey, and I cannot thank them enough. And I would also love to thank our mentors, including Rohan Bhaiya, Aditi Di, Ananya Di, Rohini Di, Ritual Bhaiya, Shantanu Bhaiya, so many people. And they've all been so good to us, and they've helped us so much individually and collectively, and guided us so much over our journey. So thank you so much to all of you.
Yeah,
I
Rohan,
agree. I also want to add on to this, like, not just them, but also our peers from IMOTC also helped us so much. And like all those people at Sophie. Sophie is one of the best Olympiad communities, like math communities.
agreed. To the people who do not know what Sophie is, the Sophie Fellowship is a math program which uh, okay, I know what it is. It's like a math program for like selective amount of kids who prepare like who get they give like a lot of problem sets, conduct a lot of classes, give a lot of feedback for like a small group of kids, and those kids are like um and the level is like I to prepare them for IMO slash EGMO and yeah. Also Larissa, is she back here? Larissa
Not
has
not
like
yet. Not yet.
not yet. So I think I'll move on to the next question, and when Larissa joins, well, I'll ask her the question again. Also to mention, I was talking about Rohan, like uh even though the question was not directed to me, Rohan Bhaiya was like one of the most helpful, not one of the most helpful senior I have ever got. So if you're watching Rohan Bhaiya, um, thank you. Also, he's so smart. Like he got into all the famous universities, including Princeton and MIT, and he's going to MIT for a PhD. Yeah, I think I wasn't supposed to say that. Okay, moving on to the next question. Out of all the
Yeah,
four
like
years,
I just feel like there are way too many names to mention. Like it's so overwhelming.
huh? Wait, I didn't get that. What?
There are way too many names to mention.
I know, right? Like they do not like you have a list of names prepared in your like brain, but then when somebody asks you the question, your brain blanks.
Exactly.
A lot of people. I can't say all of them, but yes, like a lot of people helped us, and even apart from the mentors, as Sai said, like the group you are studying with really matters, and they also sort of motivate you to qualify the exam. And even if you're not, if your exam went bad, they sort of console you on it. Yeah, make sure if you're even not Olympiads, but like non-Olympiads, make sure you have a nice field group. So, yes. Next question, what is your like, oh, actually, I skipped a few questions. I'll get back to it. The most asked question is, out of all of your handouts and books you have read, what is your favorite book slash handout and why? And if you have any recommendations for the students who are preparing for INMO, EGMO, IMO, Um, what do you have any recommendations? Yeah.
I think the first book I saw it a very, very long time ago when I got into Olympiads was the Mathematical Circles. That has always sort of stayed close to me for that reason.
Mm-hmm. I think yes. And like the game theory part of that book, not game theory, graph theory. That part is pretty good. So yeah, it's anybody who's looking for introduction to math Olympiads, mathematical circles like the best. Gunjan, Sanjana.
One of the first books I started with was The Art and Craft of Problem Solving by Paul Seitz. And I didn't do all the chapters, I did some of them, but what I really liked about that book was it focused on the method of solving a problem and thinking about different strategies. And I think that was really useful to me. And also for geometry, Evan Chin's book Euclidean Geometry and Mathematical Olympiads, that really helped me and made me really like geometry, which used to be my weakest, but now it's like second strongest. So that made a big impact on me. And yes, for other subjects, I mainly like doing problems rather than a specific book.
Mm-hmm. Gunjan.
I have like honestly never been like a book person. I prefer handouts and even not handouts at this point. But if I had to like pick my favorite book, it would probably be like Secrets in Inequality. I've not completed it, but it's like a nice book. Like try it. And I think as Sanjana mentioned, Euclidean Geometry, Evan's book, that's like the nicest, one of the nicest books for geometry. Like doing that actually like motivates you to do more geometry. Then you can like actually do a like it's the best for like introduction to Olympiad geometry.
Yes. Secrets and Inequalities. Is it by Birkhauser, like the publisher, or maybe I'm getting confused. But yes, apart from EGMO, there's another book called A Beautiful Journey Through Olympiad Geometry, and that's one of the best books. And I always and will forever advertise this book. It's really good. So the people who do not want EGMO sort of develops pretty fast after the chapter, but uh, A Beautiful Journey doesn't. It's pretty. It's a decent slope. Okay. Next question, which is to everyone. Have you guys read any college math textbook? I assume Gunjan is the only one who's going to college next year, so, but have you guys read any college math textbook?
Not particularly.
I see. Oh, Sai has read college math. I'm pretty sure she has.
I have. I wouldn't say it's like directly, I would directly apply anything from it, but
Mm-hmm.
it definitely helps structure my thinking in a particular way or like try to get like new ideas, things like that. Or like definitely increasing my mathematical maturity or like understanding of things, if not anything else.
Mm-hmm. Sanjana?
I haven't really gone into college math that much, except like some very basic linear algebra. I think
Mm-hmm.
some of the ideas do help in Olympiad problems, but not to a very huge extent.
Also, like David Bruton's book is actually an undergraduate math textbook. So if you guys have read it, then it's technically a college math textbook.
I mean,
Um,
arguably true.
like, like I know some people do offer like an elementary number theory course. So that's they follow David Bruton. But, yeah. So Sanjana said that Sanjana and Sai mentioned that it helps in our Olympiad. Gunjan, do you think reading college math textbook help?
Not sure actually, because I don't think it really has a direct application unless you consider some fields that are like number theory. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
like some knowledge of linear algebra in groups that might be helpful to understand other topics like combi or some parts of number theory and algebra. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any direct correlation. Like
Agreed.
just yeah, just helps with mathematical maturity.
Yeah, like I think after as someone who has read undergraduate textbooks for a year, and I think it just gives you a bit more generalized view on how things are working. But I think really politically, but that's my opinion. Um, yeah. We'll move to the next question. Talking about mathematical maturity and intuition, what is the importance of mathematical intuition and maturity? And how, what advice would you give to the juniors on developing intuition and mathematical maturity? Saee, would you like to start?
Sure. Uh, I think it definitely helps. So, for regarding intuition, just even I am still in the process of getting better intuition for problems. And some things that have helped me is solving a lot of problems and also understanding when to get a hint. So maybe if I'm getting absolutely no progress at all, I will keep it aside for a while and come back to it later. And and then that sort of like for some problems you just have to get that one sort of a hit, like okay, that's how you're supposed to do it. And sometimes it takes a while, and that's okay. And also, if it depends on you again, if you feel like you are really, really, really stuck, or if I'm really, really, really stuck, getting a hint and then, oh, there's like two responses. One is, oh, I could have never thought of this. This also helps me grow. And also,
Mhm.
oh, I could have thought of this. At the same time, this also helps me grow. So, intuition, I feel, is definitely very important. And just practicing and doing a lot of problems helped
Yeah.
me.
Gunjan?
I think Olympiad math is basically intuition because it's so problem heavy and like it's more of like if you can solve it or not if you're just preparing for Olympiads. So it's a lot just based on intuition instead of like college math, which is probably way different. But I'm sure intuition is needed there as well. And to like build intuition or like just maturity, I think you should try different problems and like problems from different sources. And
Mm-hmm.
that probably would give you like a large idea about how problems like basically work. Or if you're like not in the mood to try problems, you should read solutions to some problems you tried for very long time. You're just like giving up on because that helps a lot. Like even if you think like reading a solution is like just giving up, it does help a lot. And even though like Olympiad math is like technically when you start Olympiads after school, you're like, I shouldn't think of a problem and have like an algorithm of things that I should apply. But at the same time, I want to build that algorithm. So it's like kind of like a self battle or something, but it's what it is.
Agreed. I think trying a lot of problems is needed, but also like as Gunjan said, reading solutions and actually trying to understand what the person was thinking while trying the problem and how he or she or they came up with the solution is like really important. And also like reading solutions are fun.
Add on that,
Different solutions.
sometimes when people read solutions, they just go to the first solution and call it a day. Try to
Yeah.
read as many solutions as you can to a particular problem.
Yes. That actually helps in developing maturity and intuition because then you get a lot of ways to try to do the next problem. Sanjana?
Yeah, I also agree with what they said. Like, it's very important to do a lot of problems, and then this thing starts happening. Like, you see a problem and you see the ideas in it, and then you somehow know, okay, it might be a good idea to try a certain thing, which has worked a lot, many times before in a similar structure. And this just happens when you do a lot of problems. And if you're stuck, then what I usually try to do is I just look at the solution really fast and I see like a couple of lines. And then using whatever I get from there, I try to use that and then complete my solution. And if I'm really stuck, then I read the solution and I try to figure out what thing I missed. Like, why was I not able to come up with this myself?
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that even when you do solve a problem, as Gunjan said, see other solutions as well and try to understand what really happened in the problem, what the problem was asking you, what's actually asking you to do. I think all these small things help a lot in building intuition.
I agree. So I think the next question which uh, anyone would ask is, how would you attempt a paper? So for the people who are watching, unlike INMO, EGMO TST and EGMO is usually ordered by difficulty. So problem one will be easier to solve than problem two than problem three. Do you guys attempt the problems difficulty wise, or do you like try them by a subject which you like the most, or do you have some other different strategy? Um, Sanjana, would you like to start?
Yes, so usually what I do is I read all the three problems and I make sure I don't have any sort of questions. And in the past, I've had a tendency to just go with problem one or problem two if it looks nicer to me. But recently, what I've been trying to do is try all the problems for some time, which is what a lot of people have recommended. And sometimes it could happen that just because of your personal taste, maybe P3 is easier than P2 or P2 will be easier for you than P1. So it's
Mm-hmm.
very important to like have an idea of what's going on in each of the problems before really starting to work on the individual ones. And like if you try P3 first, then that'll be going on in the back of your head. So that's another benefit of trying it that way.
Yes, that's nice. So essentially, try all the problems for a bit and then decide which one to do. That was Sanjana's strategy. Sai, would you like to share your strategy?
So
Yes.
usually I would just choose to not reading the problem properly, just taking a look at it and okay, which one looks the nicest or like most doable. I would just do that, but after a lot of grilling by Gunjan and also other people, um, so yes, it's always a good idea to try all of the problems first
Yeah.
and like try them for a good amount of time and then decide because looks can be deceiving.
Yes. Oh, agreed, agreed. Gunjan?
I think like I had this fixed strategy that I would try each problem for 10 minutes in the first half an hour because that's basically like the way Olympiads at international level work. You can only ask doubts in the first half an hour. And
Mm-hmm.
by doubts, I mean clarifications. They do not give like answers to your doubts. But and then I would just move to like the problem that I made the most progress in. And even though it's like hard to make progress in just 10 minutes, but sometimes if it's like a P1 of the topic you're good at or the topic you like, then you're sort of able to like finish it quickly. So I often do that and then I move to the problem which like seems easier or like nicer. That's usually not easier, but
Looks can be deceiving.
I agree.
But yeah, so essentially try all the problems. Yeah. Um, yes. So we'll move to the next question. Uh, okay, so next questions are pretty fun. What are your hobbies? Anyone? Gunjan started, I guess.
Making up slip songs. Like not good songs, like just songs. Okay, maybe I should give an example. Like you take a good song and then you replace the lyrics, it's a bad song.
Oh,
Or like on a serious note, probably like sketching or cooking
oh
stuff.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Gu-
usually really
Gunjan's Gunjan's art, digital artwork is like really good. Do you still have that? Do you
I
have an art account?
no, I have it on my Instagram though.
Yeah. So people, wait, is your Insta like public or private?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, okay, then it's fine. But Gunjan's sketches are amazing. Um, sorry, Sanjana?
My hobbies are reading, playing badminton, playing with my brother, and I recently started cubing, mostly because
Oh,
of Larissa. So yeah, that's been really fun.
oh yes, Larissa. Cubing skills were like very famous during IMOTC 2023. Right? Oh, it's right here.
I think her internet also got disconnected unfortunately. Like
Oh,
she tried to
oh,
rejoin. Yeah.
it's okay. We'll wait for Sai. We'll move on to the next question. Then once Sai and Larissa joins, we'll ask them.
Oh, Sai is back.
Uh,
You can ask.
Sai, Sai, hi.
Yes.
What are your hobbies?
have I've been learning Hindustani classical singing for quite a while now. I also
Mm-hmm.
like to play the harmonium, and
Oh,
I've recently attempted or like started just to like play the flute. And I love trekking. I absolutely love to go on hikes in rainy weather, and I also like to and what else? Yeah, I like to read books, fiction. Like to annoy my sister. Yeah, those are my hobbies.
you have a sister? Oh, okay. I did not know that. Okay, I did. Okay, I did not. I did. I came to know like 2 days ago. But I see. Also, Gunjan has like a blog. Is it still active, Gunjan? What?
It's dead.
What?
It's
Oh,
bud
it's dead. It's
like
dead. Okay, okay.
in the ground.
Do you have any future plans to make it active again? Like,
Okay, maybe actually, never say never, but
yeah.
yeah, it's good you didn't know this, but
See, I knew everything. I know. Okay, but yes, you should make it active.
yeah,
Also, are you into poetry? Think
like
you will.
somewhat like
So, yeah. Let's move on to the next question. Do you have someone in the math community which inspires you? It's okay if you don't, but if you have. No, I guess.
I wouldn't say it's like one single person. There is so much to learn from every single person. So definitely, like also like I would. This is worth mentioning, but somehow most of the people I've met in the math community are like the nicest people ever. I don't know what
Ag-
the
Agreed. They're like very simple and not complex. Easier to talk to, but yeah, nice people. Um, Gunjan, Sanjana, do you guys have anything to say?
I would agree with Sai. Like it's just everybody I've met has taught me something in some different way. And the way I've seen people just work constantly at math and just persist at what they love to do, that has always inspired me to do the same. Both my friends and my instructors have been a huge source of inspiration.
Gunjan?
especially like meeting all these people at all these camps, like that just like made like the whole thought process on approaching Olympiads like slightly better and like slightly less stressful. And
Mhm.
like you just start looking forward to these camps, which is usually not the case for like a- academic camps. Like usually for people, you'd be like, there's so much studying and maybe it's like stressful, but it's like the complete opposite. You would want to go there, like once you've been there.
Agreed. I think one thing I miss the most um, is like not not having a chance to go to the camp again because I'm old. But yeah, going to miss this. Anyways, next question. In one sentence, what is the best thing about EGMO?
The people.
Yeah, Sanjana?
Meeting people and learning about the way things work in different countries and the math community in different countries.
Agreed. Yeah. Also in India has like EGMO team has like the Indian EGMO team has a tradition of gifting to other people like some traditional Indian earrings or something. And I think that is also like pretty nice. So yeah. Sai, uh, what is your most favorite thing about EGMO?
I met so many people and just getting to spend time with so many people from around the world and with like-minded people and sharing experiences, sharing stories. Yeah, like one of my fondest memories is this the all four of us this on the day the results came out, we were just so happy. We all slept in like one room and I was like very nice. That was very heartwarming.
Uh, was this during EGMO or EGMO PC?
This was during EGMO.
Oh, I how wait, also I did not ask the question properly to anyone, but like how was EGMO 2024 apart from the problems? Like how was the hotel? How's the food? Did you guys have any problem with the food? Like especially the vegetarian people, where how was the trip? So yeah, anyone who wants to? Oh
I
yeah.
really like the food personally, and my favorite part of the food was like they had these cherry juice containers, and I would have like 3 glasses of cherry juice per meal. I think Gunjan remembers. So yeah, that I really love that, and yeah, even the dinner party at the end was really fun, and yeah, the food there was also pretty good, in my
Did
opinion.
you guys dance there?
Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
We played like Gunjan and Aditi played Matlabi on the and everybody was dancing on Suraj Dubai. Yeah. That was so fun.
Oh, nice. Gunjan says something about Georgia time lag. Gunjan, would you like to talk about it?
Maybe. So, unlike any other competition I've witnessed, this one just seemed to have some time lag for every single thing. Like
Huh?
the question paper was handed to us like a lot later than expected. The buses were a lot later than expected. So, although that's not the organizer's fault or the country's fault, like in no way, but it was just different.
Mm-hmm. A Georgia thing. I think like some there's something about India too, like ISD. I don't know much about it. Oh yes. To everyone, future college plans. I assume Sanjana and Sai are young, so I won't ask this. Larissa had been here, I would have asked her, but she's not here, unfortunately. Gunjan, you're the only one. Would you like to explain your college plan and also your college applying process and um why did you decide to not stay in India for undergraduate? Three questions to you.
So My plan for now is to go to Cambridge, University of Cambridge for my bachelor's, hopefully. And I decided to not stay in India just for the sake of opportunity that's like
Mhm,
slightly better in the UK.
mhm,
The application process was like quite traumatizing for me because even though like UK applications are simple, once you're applying to UK, you also want to apply to US, which are not as simple. But I think like I'm really happy with the university I got to and that I'm going to join. So that's like nice.
Um, would you like to share which college you're joining? Like,
Oh,
in Cambridge?
Trinity. Trinity.
So, Trinity is like the same place where, wait, so not coaching anywhere, but like Ramanujan also,
Yeah,
in- huh?
yeah, he did. He did go
And
there.
Newton was also at Trinity, the not coaching.
There's
Yeah,
like
like
a
Trinity,
bunch of people, like a bunch of people.
yeah, Trinity is like the best format. Like, so happy for you. It's so fancy. Um, Sanjana, Sai, would you also like to share your college opinions? Any plans you guys have? We'll start with Sanjana.
So I would probably want to go to the US or UK for bachelor's.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just because I think there are slightly more opportunities over there. Although in India, my top preferences would be CMI or ISI. Yeah.
Right. Sai, would you like to share?
Uh, so I haven't really been through much of traditional schooling, but I definitely want to. I'm hoping to join CMI in maybe the next year or the year after that. But
That's
yeah, I think college really provides you with a structured process. You're with like-minded individuals like 24 by 7. I think that's really fun.
okay. I think college. Okay, I have some views about college that I would not like to share in public. Okay. Um. Oh, this question. How often do you watch movies and TV shows? And I think, do you prefer movies or do you like TV shows which have like 6 seasons? And what is your favorite show, if you have any?
I have a personal thing against movies,
Yes,
just because like they're movies, like how are you able to convey a story in like 2.5 hours? It's not giving justice to like
the
that's
characters of
amazing
it.
story. Yeah, but I do end up like watching a lot of TV, but I end up rewatching the same things. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching some particular show for like the 20th time, and I'm gonna watch it again once I'm done with the last season. So just recommend me something soon.
I will recommend you something. Indian. If you're into K-dramas, if you're.
Okay.
Sanjana, do you have any favorite show?
I don't have any particular favorite show, but right now I like watching shows in general. Before I used to be a movie person, but now that has changed.
Mm-hmm.
I usually just watch while eating dinner because that way I'm technically not losing time as such. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right?
I do watch things sometimes. Um, that's actually a good question. Like I watched a few series, and I've read more books though. Like I'm more likely at any one point I'm more likely to be reading a book rather
Mm-hmm.
than watching a show or a movie. Probably, yeah.
Hmm. I think I am a TV show person, but I'm like, if I start watching it, I need to get the closure. I cannot survive. without not completing it, which is really bad because like the shows I'm into, like K-dramas are usually 16 episodes, 1 hour long, sometimes 1.5, and I'll have to watch them like 2x speed or like just to get what happens in the story at the end. Which end like so I end up skipping meals and sleep. But I'm not into yeah. I'm glad
Uh,
nobody
Also, I don't think Larissa can join us. Unfortunately, she has having internet issues, so she won't be able to continue. Uh, Also, this was it for the pre-planned questions. Now we move on to audience questions. So, whatever questions you have, you can put in the chat, and Sunaina will ask the panel. And yes, so we'll stay for like a while more to answer all of your questions. So feel free to put them in the chat.
Yes. Can you guys hear the name? What is your thought process when you encounter a new kind of problem? I think sort of similar question was answered, but yeah.
So for me, it's always, I have trouble getting the idea right away. If it's, especially if it's a problem with a lot of variables or huge numbers. So I just try it for smaller numbers and try to build upon that. That's usually my go-to approach for most of the problems. And just having a mental note of what I have used so far. Like everything given in the problem is sort of like a clue to solving it. So just making a note, a mental note of what I've used and what I'm yet to use. So if I'm stuck, I can just take a look at that and see, okay, this is something I haven't used, and how can I possibly use it? That really helps a lot as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good strategy. Gunjan, Sanjana, do you guys have anything to add?
Well, like as I mentioned, like the algorithm thingy, that you should not like have a fixed algorithm, but you should at the same time have a fixed algorithm. But in sense of thought process, just like approach a problem like it's not something that you're aiming to particularly crack. Just approach it as something you want to understand what's going on. And like, yeah, like as I said, trying small cases is probably the best way to just get a feeling of what's going on. Especially if it's a number if it's a problem with like a game sort of a thing, then
Mm-hmm.
like usually quite easy to understand what's going on in small cases. And in case of like geometry or something, but it's literally not possible to work with small numbers, you could just try like moving a little. I'm not the best at geometry. I don't know if I should be saying this, but like seeing how like a lot of points work or like drawing good figures, that's like usually helpful. And I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but that's just my take on that.
Mm-hmm. Also, I just realized, wait, also I'll let Sanjana complete and then I'll move to the next question. But Sanjana, what was your thought process when you found a problem?
So the first thing I try to do is again understand what the problem is actually asking. Is there anything I can simplify, and like what all information do I have that I can use? And then I try to like list all the ideas I have and completely try every idea. Because many times what happens is I think of something, then I think, no way this is going to work. And then
Yeah.
that turns out to be the idea. So I think it's very important to make sure that you try everything you can think of on a problem.
So to summarize all the three answers we got, try different approaches properly. Um, if you're so essentially what Gunjan said was make a list of things, try them properly, and take small cases. And for geometry, try to see what are the properties of the points. Also, I realized Pranav removed one question which I always wanted to ask, which I did not like. Pranav, why did you remove that question from the list? But what are all of your favorite singer slash artists? Do you guys have any? I know some have, so feel free to share. Or what kind of music do you listen to? Gunjan?
Think I'm like transitioning from like mainstream pop music to like something a little less mainstream, but still pop music. I'm into like a lot of different genres. So you can like suggest me any music, I'll probably listen to it and like it. I don't promise that I'll listen to it on a daily basis though. My favorite artist would probably it used to be Taylor Swift, but I still like her. She's second
Oh,
favorite. But now
mhm.
like Sabrina Carpenter was like I've been following her for too long to like not make her my favorite.
Yes, agreed, agreed. She, like, yeah, agreed. She's so good. Uh, are you into classical music, like, or like instrumental music? Cause I, like, I've heard that, so all the people have talked to are like sort of divided into two groups, like people who listen to music while solving problems, and people who do not listen to music while solving problems. So, which category do you fall into?
I think I listen to music when I'm solving a problem until I can't solve the problem. And I'm like
Mm-hmm.
stuck. Like it's probably not the best idea to listen to music.
Okay. Um, like it doesn't usually help, but like you can't help. You just like need the music in your head as a background. I guess.
Like listening to music does like something crazy. Like it helps you focus, but at the same
Huh.
time, just
It
enough that you cannot focus.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, sorry, Sanjana, do you guys have anything to say?
So Gunjan
I
introduced me to Taylor Swift, and that is when I started listening to that. And I also mainly listen to pop music. And as
Mhm.
for doing problems, I usually listen to music, but sometimes I feel like, okay, I have this idea, I need to phrase it properly, I need to stop the music and write this down properly. And
Mhm.
then I do that. But most of the time I listen to music. It helps.
Sorry.
I listen to a variety of music, like from old Bollywood, like 60s, to also pop or indie sometimes.
Oh,
And while listening, like while solving problems, okay, even if I'm not playing music, I'll definitely be singing something in my head, if not through my mouth. Yeah.
oh,
Mm, yeah,
oh,
but like I can't solve anything if I'm listening to something catchy. Then I have to sing along with it. It has to be something very calm and something that's like repetitive. Yes.
I see. I think these days, like, um, if there's music, like, I immediately start dancing. So I've shifted to like white noise slash lively noises. So you guys can try it out and see if that works for you. Also, moving on to the next question, which is what was your reaction to EGMO P1? What is EGMO P1 exactly? Oh, that one. Uh, yeah. Any particular reaction you had to the problem?
Yes. Like when I saw it during the contest, I was like, easy, let's go. And then I was so confident about this. And then the moment I came out, I talked to Aditi about it. And then I'm like, no. So I
Oh,
just, yeah. That was my reaction.
I see. Wait, so did you take solve it in the
Yes.
contest?
Larissa was the only one who did not take silence.
Oh,
Uh, like I still sometimes just think about it at night.
oh, that's okay. Very good. But yes, fake solving is always sad. Gunjan, Sanjana, do you have any reaction to it?
I think even for me, when I first saw it, I was like, easy. And then I spent like less than 5 minutes on it, and I was like, I'll finish it at the end because like I seem to have the main idea. I did not
Yeah.
have the main idea.
Oh, no.
Then I went to this next two problems and I was like, let me finish these. And then
Mhm,
that took too much time that I had like less than a few minutes left on my hand for P1 and writing P1. So I
mhm,
was like, it can't be that hard. I just kept on writing and I thought at the end that okay, I maybe solved it, but like I was far from being right. It was
mm.
traumatizing.
Sanjana, do you have?
Even in my case, like what happened was I got the main idea, then I was like, okay, I can see that there are these cases, I'll do the cases at the end. But then when I
Mhm,
came back to them at the end, there were some cases which I missed out, which resulted in loss of points. So yeah.
we'll move to the next question. I think most of the questions were answered, like audience questions were answered in the first section. So I'll go to the question which is fine. What was your reaction to day two, which was much harder than day one? And again, yeah, how did you react to them?
I think for me, what helps me stay in like a good mindset for a contest is not thinking about the contest, which is like very easy for day one because we have like a treasure hunt and the ceremony the night before. So it's like
Oh,
easy to not think about it. But that's not the same for day two because the day before that you have like a literal contest and then you're thinking about that contest. So you're not like at all calm while playing day two. So that's already messing with your head. And then when it's as hard as it was, at least comparatively, it's not a good feeling.
mhm.
I think even for like P5, some of us ended up making a little bit of mistake, which ended up to being a big mistake, and that was kind of sad.
Sanjana, sorry, that's okay. Sanjana, would you like to say? Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I was kind of surprised because of the distribution, because on day one we had two NT algebra and one geo, and then day three, like day two, everything looked like NT algebra. So that itself was kind of surprising. And yes, P4 ended up being harder than expected, and I had to leave it and come back. And I had some things for P5, but there was a mistake in that. So
Yeah,
yeah, it ended up being harder than expected.
right?
I don't really have much to add on to whatever Gunjan and Sanjana said.
Okay. Also, like, one thing which like people do, or like at least I did for like day two was to day one happened. Also, like Sanjana said, like day one and day two are like independent events, but like you still have, you know, like know how you performed in day one, and like so you have such like probability of day two performance given day one performance. So it's not independent. But okay. The point is to yeah, I don't have anything to say. Actually, never mind. Sorry that I talked. How to stop feeling nervous before an exam?
Could you repeat that?
How did you like how to stop feeling nervous for an exam?
I think it works differently for different people. Like that's what I've seen so far. For me, it's like best to not think about the contest at all. But some people work way better under stress than not just thinking about it. And you just gotta like figure out what works best for you. And it will take time, but it's like a journey that everyone has to do.
Sanjana?
I agree.
Sanjana, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I would say do a lot of mocks like whenever you have time, so that you get used to this thing of okay, seeing three new problems and I have to try them, and like you don't get intimidated by the prospect of the problems themselves. And I'd also say like this might work for some people, it might not. But what works for me is revising basic theorems, doing really easy problems, which I know I can do or which I've done before. And that just helps build confidence right before the contest.
That's nice. Uh, do I have anything to add? I do not think. Just to not care about your exams. It doesn't matter. Like, the world doesn't change even after you get them. It probably does, okay, I don't know. Which sports do you all enjoy playing slash watching? I think Sanjana and Sai mentioned badminton. Any other sport? Do you guys like to play slash watch?
Uh, this is like not consistent, but I randomly just feel like running, so I jog. I also like to swim, but like none of this is professionally, just for fun. And like to jump rope and like try to learn new tricks. Uh, yeah.
Gunjan?
I used to play badminton as well, but I'm not like the kind of person who watches sports. That just like does not seem fun for me. I did watch the World Cup this year. That was fun. Especially
Cricket?
the yeah, that was fun.
Maybe that's what they win.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back to watching cricket. I used to watch cricket all the time, but I lost touch.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, so Sanjana, what do you like to say?
Besides badminton, I also like swimming and going on walks and sometimes running, but not consistently. And yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really watch sports either.
I think I would have gone for walks, but like there's just too many dogs, so I can't. It is sad, but
That's
it's okay. Yeah. I think, oh, this question is pretty nice. What do you think has contributed the most to your success in these competitions? Um, Open-ended question because, um, okay, sorry, are you ready to start?
Definitely the peers, I would say, like the nice community that had around me, they really like kept me going in the sense that like just if somebody sees a nice problem, they just share it and then we solve it and it feels good. Or just like so much encouragement ki acha if you're not getting it, it's okay. Like I'll try to give you sequential hints or things like that where I feel the most helpful for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good
I agree.
Like how no one in like okay, not no one, but most people in the community are just not competitive.
Yeah.
It's just like so nice because you can basically like take advice from each other and everything like everyone has learned in their own journey, they're able to share and help people grow. And which is what I've seen recently. Like recently there are a lot more offline camps and people interact more and like I realized that the progress I made in like past 1 or 2 years, even though I worked a lot less harder than the years prior to that, that was like at least 2 or 3 times the progress I was making earlier. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
so camps are like really good.
Okay. Sanjana?
Yes, I think the community has also helped me a lot. Like there are so many people whom I can just ask if I have literally any question. And I
Mm-hmm.
think also this feeling of doing problems and increasing your level and like seeing all these nice ideas which work out so well in problems, like that feeling also really makes me want to do more math and see more of these things.
Um, Talking about peer group, we had a question on what would would you guys say that peer pressure like is good in a way? What do you think uh, about it? Yeah, and yeah,
Think I've ever like felt pressured from people
yeah,
in the community to do anything. Nothing negative at least. So
yeah,
I would say it's not even like existent. So
yeah. It's you just get inspired and
okay,
motivated.
everyone probably had a different experience. So yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, also, Pranav, can you take over my laptop battery is down? Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. So as Nan said, her laptop battery is low, so I'll be taking over. How many problems of the IMO shortlist have you all solved till now? Approximate, like if you have any idea.
I remember touching like 230 and then I gave up.
Okay, that's insane.
Yeah, it took like years to get there though.
Yeah, makes sense. What about you, Sanjana and Saee?
I am definitely nowhere near 230, but I have not counted.
Okay.
I'd say around 20 to 30 overall, because I'm not specifically focused on shortlist in particular. So
Okay, makes sense. Are there any math camps apart from IMTC, obviously, and EGMO or courses that you would suggest to other people?
MBR,
Yeah, I agree with that opinion.
and probably like Promise. I've never been there, but I've only heard positive things about it. So I could
Hmm.
probably go to that.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
promise is good. Also, okay, there's a lot to talk about. Like, there's a camp called PACT. So if you like combinatorics and sort of algorithms and making things up, that was one of the most fun camps I've been in. Programming, algorithmic, and combinatorial thinking. Also, a bunch of so if you're like a middle schooler, also there's something called Epsilon that is also very fun. Um, yeah, there's actually so many math camps nowadays, which is actually really good, even in India. And with very less like even if you have financial constraints, there is always a way, which is I think is very nice about a lot of the math camps.
You see. I think there are like a lot of math camps in general, and it's too long to talk about them. It will take. So I think maybe we can like create some document and share with people over here later.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
add in
yeah.
description. Like, we'll definitely like create something for math camps and add in. Yeah, Sanjana.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure.
I think like apart from Promise, there's also like something called Ross,
Hmm.
which is like equivalent of Promise, and they also accept international students. Um, and yeah, they're pretty nice. And there's also something called Awesome Math Summer Program, which is like for which is like unlike Promise and Ross, which is on math, like more on the number theory side. Uh, Awesome Math is like it's conducted by P2, like P2 underscore. So essentially,
Hmm.
it's on math Olympiad topics, but it's not free. So you need to get aid from some outside scholarship.
Right.
And then there's also math beyond limits. But yeah.
Okay. Also, just to add, Sunaina is also an EGMO medalist from the 2023 team, so you can direct her questions to her as well. Like, that's completely fine. So, yeah. Also, this question, I think people who do math a lot or solve problems in general have different mindsets, but in a positive way. Their perception of the world definitely changes. Uh, I think it just becomes like this, everything is math, just kidding. How do you think your worldview has changed after doing a lot of math?
I think
Or
like
both?
for me, I just realized like there is when you like do math or anything similar, there you just realize that there is literally so much that you don't know, and just like that realization is extremely humbling, I would say.
Yeah.
That like everybody is more or less on the same page because okay, I heard this quote a long time ago from some professor, and he was like, okay, there is infinite knowledge. I both of us know finite amount of things, so we are on the same page.
Uh, that makes sense. So basically, like people who never got a medal and who got a medal at this. It's a very bad comparison, but yeah. Okay. What about you three? What is your opinion? How has that changed?
I think it just helped with like realizing that I have to work harder, some like along those lines. Like
Mhm.
it just gave me a sense of purpose instead of just being like going to school and doing the assigned schoolwork. It gave me a sense of purpose and like it motivated me to work harder than I could have imagined like a few years ago.
Makes sense. Also, maybe like growing up also has a role in working harder. Like you realize this is an important thing and I want to work on it. Like this is something I enjoy and I maybe want direct my time here. Both of those things are okay. Yeah, Sanjana, what about you?
I think that realizing the amount of depth that can go into something like math, like normally, if you just take a subject, you're not going to see everything that you can learn in that. And the fact that I've found something in which I can really go deep and really enjoy doing it, I think I'm really grateful for having this opportunity.
Mhm.
And I would encourage everyone to try to like find something which you can really go deep into. And that's when you realize that there's so much to learn and it's so wholesome for you.
Makes sense. Sunana, has your view changed? Maybe after going to college from Olympiad, did that also have an effect on you?
Oh yes, it had a lot of effect. Firstly, when I started doing a lot of math, my mindset changed. Wait, why am I getting interviewed? No, but I'll answer the question. Is I started thinking more mathematically and started approaching every single problem, including world problems, like mathematically. Like I started like calculating things, and that helped. And again, as Sai said that, and Sanjana also said that there's a lot of things which we do not know. So I started learning a lot of things. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, and transferring from Olympiad to undergrad math, it's a very hard thing to take, at least for a person like me who did Olympiads for like a lot of time. Like, I think Gunjan would probably understand, like, once she goes to college. Like, I've been doing it since 5 years, so not being able to do Olympiad problems every day, yeah, that takes a toll. But yeah, undergraduate
Makes
math is like fine. Yeah.
makes sense. Oh, on that note of not being able to do a problem, someone asked like, can you people live with yourself by after not solving a problem in a day?
Have to.
Yeah, makes sense. You have to, but like, does it feel different that okay, that you do not get time to do any math in the day? I think a lot of people have some misconception that we are robots and we try problems all the time. Anything about that?
Think like it's just that once you start approaching Olympiads for the fun of it, there are gonna be like hundreds of days when you're not doing any math or not as much math as you would hope to. And you're like not gonna be sad about it because you're not doing it for the sake of doing it or for the sake of qualifying something. Because I don't think it's
Mhm.
a good idea to assign a couple of hours or assign a couple of problems per day that you have to do. Like, you don't want to turn into a robot.
Makes sense. Yeah. What other like Sanjana, Saee, and Sunaina, would you have anything to add?
I think it's good to have some sort of goals if they help motivate you. But I think at the end of the day, it's just the fact that you are doing math because you like doing math, and like don't judge yourself if you're not able to do what you wanted to do or what you were planning to do. Like just do as much as you can and have fun doing it.
I agree.
Okay. Sunaina, do you want to add anything?
Not particularly. Like, just don't feel guilty for not being able to spend much time. Like, just enjoy the process.
Well, okay. How did you guys balance personal practice and help of mentors, if you had any mentors? And yeah, like, do you think it's even necessary to have a mentor? Like, maybe at a certain stage, like before INMO or after INMO for TSTs. What are your personal opinions about that?
I'll go first. So I would say, like, after a point, you don't really need to learn more theory. It's just about a lot of problem solving. But even then, there are times when you get stuck, and that is when, so as I have mentioned about this before, like the peer group that I had were the mentors for me, and like I could just tell somebody, oh, I'm really stuck on this problem, and they would be like, oh, that's because you don't know this particular theorem, and just immediately they were like, acha, get on a call, I'll explain it to you right now. So that's how helpful it was. So
Yes.
yeah, that was really nice.
What about Sanjana?
I think that having people you can talk to about problems and discuss problems is very helpful, and it's nice seeing other people's thought processes and how they approach problems. I think that helps a lot for you.
Mhm. Gunjan, did you have any mentor as well?
I think I had a few mentors along the way, and it can get overwhelming to like just be like, I want to do this set of things and this set of problems. And at the same time, you're learning something from a mentor, and you're like, well, I should practice that as well. But at
Mhm.
that point, you just like try to like convey to your mentor and like just deal with it, I guess. I think Sunaina would be because some camps we've been to kind of like rigorous.
Uh, I also know you had a mentor, right? Like Rohan mentored you for a long time. Would you like to talk about that?
Yes, I think so. I got I started talking to Rohan when I was in 10th grade, and he helped me to qualify in him. And uh, yeah, oh, yeah, the point is Rohan is was really helpful. I think even aside from the mathematical side, like he also emotionally supported me a lot, like because I'm someone who takes a lot of toll on myself if I'm not able to get through a problem, or like if I have a very bad performance in math competition, I usually start blaming myself, but he was always there and he motivated me a lot. Even like during EGMO, I'm so grateful that he was like in EGMO 2023, like he was our deputy leader, which and he helped a lot. Like he gave I still remember during the pre-departure camp, I grinded a lot of number theory problems with him, and thanks to that, I was able to solve P5 of EGMO, which I couldn't have. So like, essentially, having a mentor is helpful, but I think it's peer group which also helps you a lot. And even though you do not even though you might not have a mentor, it's very important to have a right peer group and a right set of people to emotionally support you when you're not able to do the best. Yeah. And
Makes
Rohan is the best. And he has
I
a
think
blog. Oh wait, Rohan has a blog. Oh wait, Urmsi also has a math blog. I forgot about that. Urmsi also has a math blog, which is really good. It has a lot of advices, a lot of recommendations, which everyone should probably check out once in their lifetime. Rohan also has a lot of handouts and problem sets you can look through it. We'll link it in the description or in the comments. Make sure to check it. I also
yeah,
have a blog, yeah.
yeah, we'll link to our blog as well. Also, on my opinion on mental is like after a point, like say after you cleared ILMO, when you know what to do, like you know most of us, I said, mentor essentially like cater nice problem to you, which are like some specific idea. Like they'll pick four problems which have some specific idea in them, and they'll try to convey that idea to you and like show some pattern that where this idea is used in a problem. And that you can do without a mentor as well by just having like a right Facebook, as Sunaina said, by group solving. Like I know a lot of people group solve. I used to group solve a lot. So it's never necessary to have a mentor, but it just works for some people to have a mentor. So it's like both the things are fine. You're not missing out on anything. And just related to this question, the question was posted in the chat. Like, would you advise consulting a mentor for a problem that you can't solve or glancing at the solution? Like, in what cases you'll do of these two things?
I
Like, when
think
would you consult a? Yeah.
uh, yeah, like Sanjana already said, sort of similar, like just look at the
Oh,
first two or three lines and
no, no. The
uh,
question is like, when would you want to consult a mentor or look at the solution on your own? Like, when do you think it's necessary to ask someone else? Like, what they're asking.
mm-hmm. um Gunjan, would you like to answer it first?
I think usually you should just try to check the solution because it can be like a lot to ask from a person to help you with every single problem you're stuck on. But when you're like not able to understand the solution or you have trouble just understanding why that solution works or why you couldn't come up with it, it's good to like, if not a mentor, just approach someone and be like, well, I'm stuck and I need help with this.
I agree. For me also, I think for me also, I prefer asking somebody about it rather than taking a look at the solution because there could be multiple solutions and maybe there could be a solution with my idea, but maybe the solution I look at is some completely different idea. And so, like, maybe not like ask one person. So the thing I used to do is, oh, I asked this person last week, so I'm going to ask this other person this week. So I just kept bothering a lot of people after.
Yeah.
Sanjana?
I think in the most ideal case, it would always be more beneficial to have someone give you a hint because you can tell them what you've tried and they can motivate a solution from that idea. But since that's not always practical, I kind of do both. And mainly when I'm not able to understand some sort of theory or I need advice on how to, like, on where to get resources for theory, that's when I usually ask people for help in particular.
Also, like, what I did at least in my case was there were like multiple groups people were part of. I just wrote my progress and posted it everywhere and like waited for people to give me the right hint to approach the problem. And like one particular group, like people can check out mathstack exchange/art of problem solving. You can try posting there if you're stuck in a problem. Like, so you do not need to necessarily have a mentor, but also like just be in the right place. For example, OMC Discord server is like pretty good as a place to show your progress and get some hints. So yeah, I'll ask the next two questions by the way. Um, I think this was not particularly asked, but like, for how long have you all been preparing for Math Olympiad? So yeah, and yeah, we'll start with Sanjana.
I've been doing like computational math since eighth grade and Olympiad math since like towards the end of ninth grade. So that's more than 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Saee?
I was preparing for like pre-RMO, like RMO back in the day when I was from 11, 12 years old. But then as I mentioned, I stopped. Then I started again after last year. I got into RMO this year.
Mm-hmm. Gunjan?
Me also, I think it was around seventh grade or sixth grade when I got like serious about Olympiads and decided I wanted to actually prepare.
I see. Nice. Also, like, do you guys have any favorite problem of all time? Like, any problem which you gained a lot of intuition on? Yeah.
I would say that last year's IMO P5, I found it to be a really nice problem. And that was when I really started thinking, okay, maybe I'm good at combo and maybe I can like really try to do combo a lot more. Yeah, and that
Mm-hmm.
made me really like combo even more than I did. So yeah.
I probably do have a couple favorites, but like now that you've asked, I'm like,
That's
I
nice.
Yeah, same.
So we'll let you guys think about it, and if you guys come to a conclusion, we'll post it on comments. 'Cause why not? Okay. Next question, which is going to be our final question of the interview, is what are the things? Oh wait, sorry, it's not the last question. We have two more questions. Are you guys preparing for any other exam like JEE, SAT, etc. in future? Will prepare or like do you do research in math like alongside high school things? We'll start with Sai.
I am not preparing for any other exam as of now, and I definitely want to get into research and do something original at some point.
Mm-hmm. Gunjan? Okay, Gunjan is technically okay.
think
Research,
the question applies to me much.
yeah. But did you prepare for JEE or did you give SAT? Uh,
Yeah, I did prepare for J at some point and I had to write SATs and a couple of
mhm.
other exams, but not anymore, thankfully.
And did you do research in math?
Not particularly, like I never even thought about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sai? Oh wait, Sai already said. Sai did not talk about the research in math though. Have you done anything?
I have not done anything original, just like expository stuff, but I would like to do something original at some point.
Sanjana?
Yeah, even I would probably like to go into research like, as a career. And when it comes to other exams, I have given SAT and I'm planning to give it again. But I've not done anything else like JEE or NEET.
I see. Yes, the last question. Um, what are the things that you would absolutely do not advise people in Math Olympiad? Do you guys have any? Okay, sure.
I guess just like relating your self-worth to how well you do in contests, that cannot be good for you. Like actually,
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, I was going to say something on similar lines. Like, I would say, like, I've seen a lot of people religiously just trying to approach Olympiads like some other exam where you just put in a lot of time and just keep grinding. Like, also, like, just okay, I don't know how to say this, but just try to make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing.
Sanjana?
I agree with them. I'd say like don't compare yourself to others. Like make sure you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. And do it to bring enjoyment to yourself. Don't do it for any result in particular. Don't force yourself or overwork yourself. Like it's good to have a work ethic, but don't push it to the extreme. Like make sure you're always comfortable and happy with what you're doing.
Agreed. Also, like, I'll add one more thing is ki after like completing Olympiads and starting undergraduate, like definitely your performance in Olympiad, there is no, there's rarely any correlation between how good of a math researcher would you be. Like, there are people who I know did not do well at all at Olympiads and are doing fabulous in undergrad math as a undergrad math researcher or in a undergraduate math program. So like even if you do bad in Olympiads, doesn't imply you can really be a bad math researcher also. With that, Pranav, would you like to do the ending?
Yeah. So I would like to thank everyone who for agreeing for the interview, like Gunjan, Sanjana, Saee, and Larissa as well. Unfortunately, her internet died, so she's not here right now. And Sunaina, thanks to you as well for conducting the interview. Uh, and thanks to people for asking so many questions. If you like the interview, please like the video. And you can ask more questions in the comments or join OMC as well. We'll add how to join OMC in the description. Now there's an application for it. Not everyone can join, but the application is not that strict. Okay. We'll also add links to math camps and some blogs which will be helpful for you in the description as soon as we can. Uh, yeah, and definitely do it in live classes. They help you improve, like, and we hope that you got some useful advice which you wanted to and your questions got answered. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining, and this is the end of the interview.
Thank you,
Bye.
Sunaina,
Thank
for
you.
taking the interview, and thank you, Pranav, also for taking the interview.
Well,
Thank you. So, let me know when the live stream ends.
I think it has